There's nothing more satisfying than succeeding without the people who doubted you. Remember how they thought they could hold you back. But look at you now, thriving, stronger than ever, while they're stuck watching from the sidelines. They thought they were the ones leaving you behind, but in reality, you were the one leveling up without them. It's funny how people walk away thinking they'll find better elsewhere, only to realize later that they played themselves. Today we're diving deep into the power of thriving after being underestimated and how those who doubted you are now stuck in regret. Some people come into your life thinking they've got the upper hand, that you somehow need them more than they need you. They see your kindness, your willingness to help, and they mistake it for weakness. They figure they can take advantage, walk away whenever they please, and that you'll be left behind, struggling without them. Little did they know you were never reliant on their presence. From the very beginning, you had everything within you to succeed. Their lack of faith in you was their mistake, not yours. These people saw you as a stepping stone. They believed you were just part of the scenery in their journey, something to use on their way to something greater. You weren't important to them. You were a temporary convenience, and when they thought they'd found something better, they didn't hesitate to walk away. What they failed to realize is that you were never meant to be a part of their small plans. You were destined for something far bigger, something they couldn't even imagine. Think back to when they left. They probably thought you'd crumble without them, that their absence would leave you confused, directionless, unable to move forward. They believed they had the power, the influence, to determine your future. But they couldn't have been more wrong. In fact, the very moment they exited your life was the moment the real you started to emerge, the you that had been quietly building strength, waiting for the right time to rise. Their egos blinded them. They assumed that because they walked away, you'd suffer. They never took the time to understand your resilience, your inner fire. It's funny how some people believe they are irreplaceable, as if the world revolves around them. But you showed them. You rose above, continuing to push forward with a quiet, unstoppable determination. You see, they didn't understand what you were capable of. They only saw your current situation and judged you based on that. Maybe they saw you struggling. Maybe they saw you in a moment of doubt. But they didn't realize that those moments of hardship were what were building you into the powerful person you've become. They didn't see the potential you carried. They only saw what was in front of them, and that's why they underestimated you. It's their loss. When they walked away, thinking they could find better, they didn't realize they were leaving behind someone who was destined to grow beyond anything they could comprehend. They thought they were the ones walking into a brighter future, but in truth, you were the one with the path to greatness. They didn't see it because they were too focused on themselves. What they failed to recognize is that your strength comes from within. It doesn't depend on outside validation or approval. While they were busy looking for the next best thing, you were busy building something real, something lasting. And now they're realizing their mistake. Now they see that you were never just a stepping stone. You were a mountain all along, and they couldn't handle the climb. The beauty of your journey is that in their absence, you didn't just survive, you flourished. What they thought would be your downfall became the fuel for your ascension. In the quiet moments when they were no longer there to cast shadows of doubt, you found clarity. You began to see the strength that had been within you all along. While they were off chasing distractions, you were focused, disciplined, and determined. You didn't need their validation to grow. In fact, their absence was the very thing that propelled you forward. Now, they're starting to see the truth. They believed that walking away would leave you stagnant, but instead, it gave you room to breathe, to expand, to evolve. While they were lost in their own egos, thinking they were the prize, you were busy becoming the best version of yourself. And now, your success is a glaring reminder to them that they underestimated you. It wasn't easy, was it? There were moments of doubt, times when you wondered if maybe they were right, but you kept pushing. You chose not to let their opinions define you, and now, as you stand in your power, you realize just how important those difficult moments were. They weren't setbacks, they were setups for your comeback. Every challenge you faced became an opportunity for growth, and now you're stronger than ever before. Your success is undeniable. It's not just about material achievements, it's about the inner transformation that took place. You became someone who doesn't need external approval. You found your worth, your purpose, and your strength, all without them. And now they're left wondering how they ever doubted you. They're watching from the sidelines now, and it's not a comfortable place for them to be. Every time they see you winning, it's a reminder of the mistake they made. They thought leaving you behind would break you, but instead, it broke their illusions. You didn't just prove them wrong, you exceeded every expectation they had of you. But their regret isn't your concern anymore. You're not here to dwell on what they think. Your journey is about you, your growth, and your success. The people who walked away don't get to be part of that anymore. Their absence gave you the space to become the person you were always meant to be. They see it now. They see that while they thought they were teaching you a lesson, you were teaching them one instead. You taught them that your worth isn't dependent on their approval. You showed them that you don't need anyone's permission to thrive. You were always destined for greatness, and now they're left regretting the day they didn't believe in you. It wasn't just about proving them wrong. It was about discovering who you really are. Their absence gave you the freedom to explore your potential without the constraints of their limited expectations. You began to understand that the only validation you ever needed was your own. As the days passed and you focused on your growth, you realized that the power had always been within you, waiting for the right moment to surface. Now your success isn't just a reminder to them of what they lost, but a celebration of what you've gained: self-love, confidence, and unshakable strength. And now, as they watch you from afar, trying to make sense of your transformation, you're no longer the same person they walked away from. You've evolved in ways they could never have anticipated. Every challenge, every setback became the foundation of your rise. And now they're witnessing a version of you that is far beyond anything they ever imagined. They thought they knew you, but the truth is, they never truly saw you. Now as you shine brighter than ever, they're forced to confront the reality that they were wrong all along. That's why we built the Obsidian Inner Order partner with Astral Atom, not for the faint-hearted, but for those who know that this is their time. Inside the Inner Order, we don't talk about power. We embody it. You don't need to prove anything to them anymore. Now, it's time to claim what's always been yours. This is where chosen ones like you come to take their next leap, to rise even higher, to become a force that cannot be ignored. If you're ready to unleash that next level, to step fully into the power they can't handle, then the Inner Order is where you belong. This isn't a casual decision, it's a defining moment. The link is in the description, if you're bold enough to take it. By the time they realized their mistake, it was too late. You had already moved on, already grown beyond the person they thought they knew. The door they once walked through, thinking they'd be welcome back whenever they wanted, is now locked. They played themselves. They thought they could leave and return whenever it suited them, but you've outgrown them. You've changed, and they no longer have a place in your world. The truth is, you don't need them anymore. In fact, you never did. Their exit wasn't the end, it was the beginning. It was the catalyst for your transformation, the spark that lit a fire in your soul. And now as you walk a new path, they're left in the dust, wondering how they could have been so blind. You see, when they left, they thought they were the ones making the big move, the power play. But in reality, they were sealing their own fate. They underestimated your resilience, your strength, and now they're paying the price. They're watching you from afar, wishing they could turn back time, wishing they could undo the damage they caused. But it's too late. The bridge they burned is beyond repair. They might try to reach out, send a message, drop a hint, hoping to reconnect. But the truth is, they no longer have access to you. You've moved on to a new chapter, one where they have no role to play. Their time in your life has ended, and no amount of regret can change that. You're living your best life now, and they can't be a part of it. Their ego won't let them admit it, but deep down they know they played themselves. They thought they were irreplaceable, but you've proven otherwise. You've built a life, a success that doesn't include them, and now they're left to live with the consequences of their actions. They lost the privilege of being part of your journey, and that's something they'll never get back. It's almost poetic, really. The people who thought they were leaving you behind are now the ones left behind. They thought they were cutting you off from success, but in reality, they were cutting themselves off from you. And now they're watching as you continue to rise while they remain stuck, unable to move forward. But here's the thing. You don't have time to worry about them anymore. Your focus is on your future, your goals, and your dreams. The people who tried to play you don't deserve your energy. They had their chance and they blew it. Now, they're left with the realization that they lost something irreplaceable. What's most ironic is that while they thought they were protecting themselves by leaving, they were actually sealing their own fate. They believed they were making a smart move, distancing themselves from someone they saw as unimportant. But in doing so, they shut the door on an opportunity to grow alongside you. Now they're left wondering what might have been if they had stayed, if they had chosen to see your potential rather than overlook it. But life doesn't grant second chances so easily, and the opportunity they missed is one that won't come back around. What's even more powerful is that you didn't just move on, you thrived. You've become the version of yourself that they could never comprehend, and now, as they attempt to reach out or reconnect, they're met with the cold realization that you're no longer interested in what they have to offer. The path you're on doesn't include them anymore. They played themselves, and now they must live with the fact that their role in your life is over for good. Their regrets are their own to bear, while you continue to walk forward, unburdened and unstoppable. It's a funny thing, isn't it? The very people who walked away thinking they were leaving you behind now want to come back. They've seen your glow up, your success, and suddenly they realize what they lost. But here's the important part. You did all of this without them. You didn't need their approval, their validation, or their support. Everything you've achieved, you've done on your own terms, and that's a truth they can't stand. They'll try to reconnect. Maybe it'll be a text or a casual comment on social media, or a sudden appearance after years of silence. They'll say things like, "I miss the old days," or "I didn't realize what I had." But don't be fooled. Their regret isn't about you, it's about them. They're regretting the opportunity they missed, not because they cared about you, but because they see what you've become without them. It's tempting, I know. You might find yourself wondering, what if? What if things had been different? What if they've changed? But let me remind you, their absence was the very space you needed to grow. Reopening that door could mean inviting the same toxic energy back into your life, and you've worked too hard to let anyone disrupt your peace. Think back to when they left. You didn't crumble, you didn't fall. You rose, you became stronger, more focused, more determined. You've built a new chapter in your life, one that is better without them. And letting them back in could undo all of that. Don't let the temptation of what if blind you to the reality of who they are. Their regret is real, but it's not your burden to carry. They're the ones who played themselves, and now they want to come back because they see how well you're doing. But your success isn't a ticket for them to re-enter your life. You've moved on, and they can't stand the thought that they aren't part of your story anymore. Guard your energy. Protect the peace you've created. You don't owe them anything. They had their chance and they made their choice. Now it's your turn to make yours. Don't let their regret manipulate you into reopening a door that was meant to stay closed. Remember, you did all of this without them. Every victory, every success, every moment of growth, it was all you. Their absence didn't break you, it empowered you. And now they're the ones left wondering what could have been. But you know the truth. You were always destined to rise, and they were never essential to that process. So when they come knocking, asking for a second chance, don't fall for the trap of nostalgia. Keep the door closed. You've outgrown them, and letting them back in would only bring you down. Stay focused on your future and leave them in the past where they belong. Here's what you need to understand. When they left, it wasn't a setback. It wasn't a failure. It was God's protection. God saw their true intentions long before you did. He saw what was in their hearts, the way they underestimated your potential, the way they took advantage of your kindness. And in his divine wisdom, he removed them from your life, not to hurt you but to protect you, to clear the path for the blessings that were meant for you. Sometimes we hold on to people because we think we need them. We believe that their presence in our lives is necessary for our success, our happiness. But God knows better. He sees the things we don't, the conversations behind closed doors, the doubts they harbor in their hearts. And in his perfect timing, he removes them, not as a punishment but as a form of protection. They weren't meant to stay. Their role in your life was temporary, and their exit was part of a bigger plan. You may not have seen it at the time, but looking back it's clear. Their departure was a blessing in disguise. It made room for the growth, the success, and the peace you're experiencing now. While they thought they were walking away from you, God was guiding you towards something far greater. And here's the truth. They thought they were doing you harm by leaving. They believed their absence would cause you to struggle, to falter. But in reality, they were fulfilling God's purpose. Their exit was the divine intervention you didn't even know you needed. Because once they were out of the picture, you had the space to truly thrive. Their absence made you stronger. What was meant to break you actually became the very thing that built you. Every moment of doubt, every challenge you faced without them, was part of the process that refined you into the person you are today. Your success is a testament to God's power working in your life, showing you that you don't need anyone but Him to fulfill your destiny. And now, as you stand in your power, they're starting to realize the magnitude of their mistake. They're watching from the sidelines, wishing they could be part of your world again. But that door is closed. God removed them for a reason, and bringing them back would only disrupt the blessings He has in store for you. Remember, God's timing is always perfect. He knew exactly when to remove them, and He knows exactly what's coming next for you. The people who walked away didn't stop your progress. In fact, they accelerated it. Their departure created the space for you to align with your true purpose, to walk the path God has laid out for you. So as you move forward, trust that God's plan is greater than anything you could have imagined. The people who doubted you, who underestimated you, they were never part of the bigger picture. And now, as you continue to rise, they're left to watch from the sidelines, filled with regret. But you're walking in your purpose, and there's no room for those who couldn't recognize your worth when they had the chance. Don't look back, keep moving forward. Just like Lot's wife in the Bible, looking back could destroy everything you've built. God didn't remove these people for no reason. He has something greater waiting for you. Trust in His plan and stay focused on the future. Share your story in the comments. You are stronger than you realize, and your worth is beyond measure. Keep shining, keep thriving, and never let anyone dim your light. Sending you peace, blessings, and love. See you in the next one.